Alright. What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today because we're going to be taking a look at a fusion monster for the Charmer archetype. If you guys don't already know, the Animation Chronicles Series 2 is going to be coming out very soon, and it's going to be featuring the Charmers. Yes, the Spirit Charmers. Hita, Usa, Aria, and Winnie are all going to be the next focus of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles series. Now, we've seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles series do basically 3 archetypes at this point, and with the most recent announcement of cards coming out for Sky Striker, who was the first one they did this whole thing with, I am going to say this. Charmer fans, I hope you guys are prepared because I have some things I'm going to say. You're gonna experience what Ice Barrier fans experienced not too long ago, and that's large amounts of disappointment, large amounts of what the hell, and the overwhelming sense of damn, they really did just try us. No. Konami can come in here and fix some things up and change some things and make some things a little easier, but we gotta rip the band-aid off first. And it's gonna start off with some of the issues that I have with this archetype, which I will talk about once I get finished talking about them in this video. Now, let's go ahead, let's look at all of the, conglomerates of cards that are going to be attached to the Charmers with this fusion monster. So, this is Charmers of the Grand Circle. They are a level 6 light attribute spellcaster type monster with 1850 attack and 1500 defense. So, Charmer status. Alright, the effect reads that requirements needs 2 Charmer and or familiar possessed monsters, and you can only use the effect of the monster's name once per turn. Now, when this card is choosing summon, you can choose among the effects up to the number of original attributed monsters used for its material, maximum of 4, and then apply them in sequence. You can choose the same effect multiple times, which are: this card gains 800 attack, add one possessed spell or trap from your deck to your hand, return 1 card on the field to the hand, special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your graveyard. Alright, next up, Spellbook of the Grand Circle. Normal spell. You only use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn each. Add 4 Charmer monsters with different attributes from your deck, graveyard, and or banish to your hand. Then return 2 cards from your hand to the deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard to fusion summon 1 fusion monster using Charmers and or familiar possessed monsters from your hand or field. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when that monster is fusion summoned. For the large amount of reprints that will be here, these are those shown. Every variation of Hita, Winnie, Usa that are featured in the series, as well as their familiar possessed forms, which are Gigabyte, Inari Fire, Ranryu, Archfiend Eater, and Nefariousness, as well as variations of those monsters. We also have Spirit Charmers, the Grand Spiritual Art Ichirin, Awakening of the Possessed Partnership, Unpossessed, and each of the 4 link monsters that are attached to them, which are, of course, insert Charmer name here and insert variation of their diplomacy. So, yeah, they did it, guys. They did it, guys. They're going to give Charmers 2 new support cards. How do I feel about this? Well, you made this monster basically a fusion variation of a familiar possessed monster, giving it abilities based off of the number of monsters that are going to be used for its fusion material up to 4 for the max, which in Remnants, yeah, just like the artwork you see in front of you, for base Charmers, for up to 4 abilities used on it. However, it kind of makes you think, where's the love for Jerk and Lyra, whichever one you want to call her. Light and Dark are going to be excluded from this, but are included because they're still Charmer and have familiar possessed forms. There are no they do have link variations of themselves, and they even have, but they don't have no Charmer channeler forms of themselves. So it makes you really think here, Konami, what are you really going to do with this archetype? Because it's still not fixing any of the issues that I even brought up a few years ago when this archetype got its first official structure deck, the Spirit Charmers. Because you can give the monsters all the support you want, but here's the issue. If they don't have a leg to stand on, what is going to make them sufficient? Is this something that you're just going to throw out there because you guys want to see how everybody will react to it? Is this one of those instances where we have to just rely on what we see and what we know and then build up on it? There's really just not much to be really said because there's so much still left untold. One of the biggest things I do want to say to everyone, because I know they're all going to point it out, is that the fusion spell says spell book of the Grand Circle. And if you know the history and the lore of the of the familiar, well, of the Charmers, then yeah, that archetype could potentially see some combination play in here as well. Even though, funny enough, Spellbook of Power and Blue Boy were, I believe, in their structure deck, or they were removed from their structure deck from the Japanese to the English version. But I do know that yes, there's a connection of Spellbook invoked Charmer now because this card itself says Spellbook. And if you know about the history of the Spellbooks, then you know that the Charmers are an extension of them. Or rather more so, the field spell is where the girls went to learn their magic. Because if you know the history of the Majestus, or you know the history of what started Spellbook, which went into other things, transpiring between the spellbooks, the prophecy archetype. Because there's a lot of history with that, and I don't have enough time in this video to talk about it. But if you know, you know. And if this card is going to be a spellbook card, that's crazy. But it really isn't a spellbook card. It's spellbook in name, but it works with the Charmers. Actually, you could make, hey, the combination of Charmers and spellbook. Run a couple of Blue Boys, run some Priestess. Drop this card in there because it is spellbook. So it could easily work. You have to do some reach around stuff. But my personal opinion, alright, that's a nice start. But here's the problem. They need a solid boss monster. Not just villains. This ain't, you're in the middle archetype. This archetype you've worked on for years. You've given them link monsters. You've given them support cards. If you're going to make it in the focus, you need to make sure the focus is real. And hopefully it works out well for them. Because, Charmers kind of tend to not have that really work for them. They're more so the supporter cast. And they're here just to support. But let's really see what they'll do this time when they get the right amount of cards to fully take advantage of being an archetype. Because I'll say it now. This deck needs someone who's really skilled in Yu-Gi-Oh! To not only play it, but to execute the plays perfectly so that it can be considered a really good deck. Not a great deck, an awesome deck, like a powerful deck, but a good deck, because there's so many issues still regarding to the spell books that have not been fixed that Konami needs to fix before they just start jumping more cards down our throat. So, let me know what you guys think of the Chamas. What do you feel about this new support? Do you like it? Are you going to wait to see what more comes out? Or do you honestly think that this is going to last long for them? Because I hope so. But if it don't, hey, they did a good run. So let me know all that in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed when I upload more content to the channel. Social media links, they're in the description box below. And I'll catch you all next time. HBJ, signing out. Take care.